Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am an English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the writing portion of Unit 13, that is, writing about past hobbies. So, let's begin. Alright, we are now going to start the writing portion of Unit 13, which is called Writing About Past Habits or Hobbies. In this section, we will focus about the things, that we did as a child, and we'll also learn how to write them. So, first of all, before starting, we must know that whenever we are writing about past, especially past repetitive forms are used. So, what does that mean? So, that means we use structures like used to, followed by would plus infinitive. It is in fact used to plus infinitive, and the past simple tense. So these three grammatical tools are used whenever we are writing about past. So we'll use used to plus infinitive, which is also known as the base verb V1, would plus V1, and past simple tense. Before doing that, let's just jot down the main ideas about childhood. So this section also falls the title composition. And what does composition do? Composition, as a matter of fact, helps students to express their views on what is happening in the world around them, besides expressing personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences. So it's more than that, it's not just about expressing personal thoughts, feelings, and experience. So it's more like helping the students to express what they think about the world. So it is like helping students learn about the world. So whenever you're writing about something, it could be, writing about your childhood, it could be maybe writing about the present time, or sometimes it could be writing about future. In all those three distinct kind of writings, what you need to do is you need to express your ideas and your opinions on what is happening in the world. The world is what it is. So you have to express that notion that the world is what it is. So express that notion in your writing. So in this class, we shall focus mainly on the past activities, past habits and hobbies. So let's start by writing about childhood. But before that, let's just, list out all the main ideas about childhood. So here we go. Childhood. Whenever we think about childhood, we are filled with nostalgia, right? We remember childhood in a fond way. So we have a fond recollection. We have a fond recollection of our past memories. We also think about the happy days as well as the bad days. I know there were days when you're feeling a little low, and there were days when you're excited. So life is like that. It is a mix of happiness and sadness. So you had your happy days, you had your not so happy days. So while writing, you're going to write about all those things, right? Maybe you had one particular experience, so maybe some peculiar experience. So you can share that peculiar experience in your writing, right? So what I will do is I will write a sample paragraph and help you to write about your own childhood. Memories of my childhood days. So this is going to be the title. This is going to be the title of the writing of the paragraph, right? Memory of my childhood days. And I would begin the paragraph like this. My first recollection of my childhood days is the day I toppled down the stairs when I was 3 years old. I was upset that I cried and cried for nearly an hour, in spite of my parents' attempts at comforting me. Finally, I quietened down when I was given ice cream and chocolates. Now, who doesn't like ice cream and chocolates? Luckily, I was not hurt. So, this is the tentative first paragraph. Let's go back and study this. All right, my first recollection. So, you see, I've used the word recollection. That means you are recounting something, you're going back, you're being nostalgic. You're back in time. So my first recollection of my childhood days is the day I fell down the stairs when I was 3 years old. So I'm talking about the time I was 3 years old. And when I was 3 years old, I toppled down the stairs. I was upset that I cried and cried for nearly an hour, in spite of my parents' attempts at comforting me. Finally, I quietened down when I was given ice cream and chocolates. Luckily, I was not hurt. So this is the paragraph. Now let's talk about the grammar uses in this paragraph. So what different kind of structures are used? The first structure that we find is the general past tense, which is called simple past tense. So we have a simple past tense again a simple past tense, followed by more simple past tenses, followed again by simple past tenses. Alright? So this whole paragraph contains a lot of sentences that are in past simple tense. Now you must have gotten the idea, you must have got the idea that whenever you're writing about past, you've got to use past simple tense. There's no other way around. There's no other technique, So when you're writing about past, needless to say, you're going to use the past tense. Let me just continue writing, adding things to this paragraph. I'll change the paragraph and I'll start from my days were happy ones before I started going to school, as I had good neighbors to play with from morning till evening. We played games outdoors, dressed as policemen, and rode about our bicycles happily. There were also other games to occupy our time. Alright, the first paragraph talked about one incident when I was hurt as I toppled down the stairs and I cried and cried till I got ice cream and chocolates. That was the first paragraph. Now, in the second paragraph, this paragraph particularly talks about what I did as a child. That means I played and I played outdoors, dressed as policemen, rode bicycles. That's what we did. We, as friends. So let's study this one. My days were happy ones before I started going to school, as I had a good neighbor to play with. From morning till evening, we played games outdoors, dressed as policemen, and rode about our bicycles happily. There were also other games to occupy our time. So if you go back and analyze the structures, you will find a lot of simple past tense. So again, a lot of simple past tense, right? A lot of simple past tense. Again, simple past tense. So this paragraph also contains many examples of past simple tense. Alright, let me continue with this paragraph. At the age of 5 years, I used to attend kindergarten, and this turned out to be quite an ordeal for me. So this is another topic sentence, the first sentence of third paragraph. So in this sentence, the used to structure is used. At the age of 5 years, I used to attend kindergarten, and this turned out to be quite an ordeal for me. Why an ordeal? So for that, to go on writing, So one used to structure is used, another past simple tense is used. So whenever we are writing about past, we use these structures. One more structure is there, and what is it called? Would plus V1. We haven't really used that structure until now, but we will use it anyway. Let's go on writing. To begin with, I felt very sad having to leave my mother and go off each morning to be amongst strangers. I cried and wanted my mother around. I was a mama's boy, so I wanted my mother around, much to my teacher's displeasure. So this is, this third paragraph. To begin with, I felt very sad having to leave my mother and go off each morning to be amongst strangers. I cried and wanted my mother around, much to my teacher's displeasure. As the days went by, however, I made friends easily in class and found company. I became happy again and actually looked forward to leaving the house each morning. Alright, so as the days went by, however, I made friends in class and found company. I became happy again and actually looked forward to leaving the house each morning. So this was the third paragraph. Now in fourth paragraph you can talk something like, I still remember those days when I was learning to ride a bicycle. So talk about you learning the bicycle. I fell and bruised myself several times, but I never gave up. Finally, I was able to join my friends going around the neighborhood on my bike. So, in the last paragraph, you can say something like, another fond memory is the end of the year concert held at the kindergarten. I was chosen to play the role of Ram in Ramayana. So, Ramayana and the Ravan, And I became a celebrity overnight, receiving lots of compliments for my performance. I now realize what a wonderful childhood I had. And at times, I wish I could relive those days. So like this, you can write about your childhood, right? You get the idea, right? Now, so this is not done. This is only third paragraph. Now you'll have to continue writing this. So what I have done is only half done. Half portion, you need to do it. And for that half portion, I'm going to give you some homework. And that homework is going to be, going to be something like, you're going to complete this work. That is going to be your homework. All right. Now we come to the part which I love and which probably you hate the most. It is called giving homeworks. Your homework is continue writing about your childhood in about 200 words. Alright, that's your homework. So altogether there should be about 200 words. Continue writing this. That means complete what I just taught you. Not to mention, don't forget the use of three different kind of past structures. What are they once again? Used to plus V1. What is another structure? Would plus V1. Sadly, I didn't use that one today. And finally, past simple. So use these three structures and complete the homework. With this, we have come to end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding this video series, feel free to write us at learning@deerwalk.edu.np. Thank you.